In the heart of a secluded town, surrounded by dense forests and shrouded in an eternal mist, stood an ominous mental hospital known as Ravenbrook Asylum. Its towering Victorian structure loomed over the landscape like a haunting specter, whispering secrets of despair and anguish to anyone who dared to listen. Legend had it that Ravenbrook Asylum was cursed, built upon the very grounds where a forgotten cemetery once lay. Dark tales of tortured souls, lost sanity, and unspeakable horrors swirled through the minds of the townsfolk, who avoided the place as if it were a gateway to hell itself. But for those unfortunate souls afflicted by madness, it was the only refuge they had, a place where their tormented minds were caged within its crumbling walls. Dr. Alexander Blackwood, a renowned psychiatrist with an unyielding fascination for the human psyche, was appointed as the new director of Ravenbrook Asylum. He arrived with a mix of trepidation and excitement, eager to unravel the mysteries that swirled within the decaying corridors. Upon entering the asylum, Dr. Blackwood felt an unsettling chill crawl down his spine. The air was thick with despair, and the sound of distant whispers seemed to echo from within the shadows. The staff, a weary and somber group, went about their duties with hushed voices and anxious glances. They warned the new director of the malevolent presence that lurked within the asylum's confines. But Dr. Blackwood dismissed their fears as mere superstition. As days turned into weeks, Dr. Blackwood delved deeper into the asylum's twisted history. Patient files revealed tales of unimaginable trauma, from electroshock therapies gone awry to experimental treatments that left the mind shattered beyond repair. But the more he uncovered, the more he sensed a palpable darkness woven into the very fabric of the place. Late one stormy night, as thunder boomed and lightning cracked across the sky, Dr. Blackwood found himself drawn to the abandoned ward of the asylum. The echoes of anguished cries beckoned him, their haunting melody pulling him further into the madness. He ventured deeper, passing by cells with barred windows, their occupants hidden in the shadows. A flickering light drew his attention, and he stepped cautiously toward it. Inside a dimly lit room, he discovered a forgotten journal, its pages yellowed with age. As he read the cryptic entries, he realized they were penned by a former doctor of Ravenbrook Asylum, Dr. Samuel Crow, a man driven to insanity by the secrets he had uncovered. Dr. Crow's words spoke of a forbidden experiment, an attempt to unlock the door to the realm of the subconscious. He spoke of a dark force, an ancient malevolence that fed on the fractured minds of the patients, growing stronger with every tortured soul. It was a force that Dr. Crow had inadvertently unleashed, and one that threatened to consume him entirely. Unnerved, Dr. Blackwood hurriedly closed the journal, his heart pounding in his chest. But it was too late. The malevolent presence sensed his presence, its icy tendrils wrapping around his mind, seeping into his thoughts. The walls around him seemed to warp and shift, revealing glimpses of macabre scenes from the asylum's past. Terrified, Dr. Blackwood attempted to flee, but the asylum's corridors twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the abyss. The patients, their gaunt faces contorted with pain, whispered in his ear, their words a twisted symphony of torment. Shadows danced along the walls, their elongated forms morphing into monstrous shapes. With every step, Dr. Blackwood could feel his own sanity slipping away, consumed by the malevolence. Consumed by the malevolence that saturated Ravenbrook Asylum, Dr. Blackwood's mind became a battleground between reason and madness. Whispers and hallucinations plagued his every waking moment, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. Faces of long-deceased patients appeared before him, their eyes hollow and accusing, as if blaming him for their eternal suffering. The staff, too, were not immune to the asylum's insidious influence. They grew increasingly distant, their eyes haunted and their words laced with paranoia. Some disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. The remaining staff spoke in hushed tones, fearing the wrath of the malevolent presence that had taken hold of the asylum. Dr. Blackwood's desperate attempts to uncover the truth became more frenzied. He sought out the few remaining patients who retained a semblance of lucidity, hoping to glean some insight into the darkness that consumed them. But their fragmented tales only deepened the mystery, leaving him with more questions than answers. As days turned into endless nights, the boundaries between the physical world and the realm of nightmares began to erode. Shadows twisted and writhed, manifesting as grotesque apparitions that lurked around every corner. The very walls of the asylum seemed to breathe, pulsating with an otherworldly energy that resonated with each tortured soul trapped within. Dr. Blackwood's own grip on reality grew tenuous, his thoughts fragmented and disjointed. The malevolent force gnawed at his sanity, whispering seductive promises of forbidden knowledge and power. It played upon his deepest fears and insecurities, tempting him to succumb to the darkness that surrounded him. Haunted by the ghosts of the asylum's past, Dr. Blackwood stumbled upon a hidden chamber, concealed deep within the bowels of the building. The room pulsated with an eerie light, emanating from a mysterious artifact at its center, a weathered and ornately carved wooden box. Intrigued and consumed by a desperate desire to understand, he reached out to touch it. As his fingers made contact with the ancient box, a surge of energy coursed through his body, causing him to convulse in pain. The box creaked open, revealing a swirling vortex of malevolence within. In that moment, Dr. Blackwood realized the true nature of Ravenbrook Asylum, a gateway to a realm where darkness reigned supreme, a prison for souls trapped between life and death. The malevolent force, now fully unleashed, manifested as a horrifying entity, a towering shadow with writhing tentacles and piercing red eyes. It enveloped Dr. Blackwood, drawing him into its abyssal embrace. He became a vessel for the malevolence, his mind shattered, and his identity consumed by the darkness he had sought to understand. From that day forward, Ravenbrook Asylum stood as a testament to the horrors that lurked within the human mind. The once prominent institution became an abandoned husk, its halls echoing with the anguished cries of the tormented souls it had claimed. The townsfolk continued to steer clear, fearing the restless spirits and the malevolent presence that still clung to the crumbling walls. Ravenbrook Asylum, forever cursed, remained a testament to the fragility of the human psyche and the unspeakable terrors that lie dormant within us all. Its dark legacy would continue to whisper in the night, a warning to those who dare to delve too deeply into the abyss of madness. User more ChatGPT years passed, and the legend of Ravenbrook Asylum grew more twisted and macabre. The stories that circulated among the townsfolk spoke of restless spirits haunting the grounds, their mournful cries carried on the wind. Some claimed to have glimpsed figures lurking in the shadows, while others swore they heard the tortured screams of patients long gone. Curiosity and morbid fascination drew a group of reckless thrill-seekers to the decaying asylum. They were young, brimming with a naive courage that bordered on foolhardiness. Eager to uncover the truth behind the legends, they embarked on a daring expedition into the heart of madness. As they stepped through the asylum's rusted gates, a heavy silence settled upon them, accompanied by an oppressive atmosphere that seemed to stifle their every breath. The air was thick with anticipation and an almost tangible fear. With flashlights in hand, the group cautiously navigated the labyrinthine corridors, their beams revealing peeling wallpaper, shattered glass, and the remnants of long-abandoned medical equipment. Whispers of the past echoed in their ears, fragments of conversations lost to time. They explored the desolate patient wards, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Each room they entered seemed to hold a different fragment of horror, a child's toy left untouched for decades, a blood-stained gurney, or a padded cell with faint scratches on the walls, etched by a tormented soul. As they ventured deeper into the asylum, the temperature plummeted, and the air grew dense with an otherworldly chill. Unseen hands seemed to brush against their skin, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures darted in and out of their peripheral vision. The group's bravado began to waver, replaced by a growing sense of unease. In the heart of the asylum, they discovered a forgotten chamber, its entrance hidden beneath layers of debris. Inside, they stumbled upon a peculiar symbol etched into the floor, a twisted combination of arcane sigils and ancient script. Its meaning eluded them, but its presence radiated with a sinister energy that sent shivers down their spines. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing their flashlights and plunging them into darkness. Panic ensued as whispers filled the air, growing louder and more menacing with each passing second. The group fumbled for their flashlights, but their efforts were in vain. The darkness seemed impenetrable, swallowing their feeble attempts at illumination. A blood-curdling scream pierced the air, followed by a cacophony of agonized wails. Frantic footsteps echoed in all directions as each member of the group became separated, disoriented within the suffocating blackness. Desperation gave way to terror as they realized they were not alone. In the darkness, the malevolent force that had claimed Dr. Blackwood's sanity reveled in the chaos it had created. It toyed with its new victims, whispering vile secrets into their ears, tormenting them with grotesque illusions that played upon their deepest fears. The group's courage crumbled, replaced by paralyzing dread. One by one, the thrill-seekers succumbed to the asylum's grip, their minds shattered and their spirits consumed by the darkness. The malevolent force feasted upon their fear, growing stronger with each soul it claimed. To this day, the asylum stands as a grim testament to the darkness that lurks within the human mind. Its crumbling walls still hold the echoes of lost sanity, and its cursed halls are forever haunted by the restless souls trapped within. Ravenbrook Asylum, a place of unspeakable horror and tragic demise, serves as a chilling reminder of the folly of those who dare to unravel the mysteries of the human psyche.